You don't need a miracle. You need movement. Let me show you how an author can get both and can do that fast. Want to know how to be able to do that like right now, like this week, so that you can be a book, a person, an author, a leader that is found this Christmas when people are looking for things that they need? I want that for you. Hi, my name's Steve Kidd. I am a third generation minister, international best-selling author of 40 books and counting. I've had the amazingly wonderful privilege of working with nearly 5,000 people now, helping them write, publish, market their books to bestseller, everything that goes beyond that. Over the course of the last 40 years in marketing, I've worked with multimillionaires. I've worked actually with a billionaire. That was pretty cool. I've worked with people who are brand new in their startup, who are stay-at-home moms, doctors, lawyers, nurses, people who are writing books, that are for children, people who are writing books to entertain. I mean, we've even done some adult fiction books. You name it. We love authors. We love helping them. And you need to be seen. You need to be visible and valuable. And you need to understand the process of how that works. And if you are one of those people who would really love to make an impact, and maybe you sometimes feel like you're struggling with that a little bit, I want to literally today go behind the curtain and reveal exactly what the real truth is. Because all too often we're tricked into believing that it's some kind of you gotta do all these mystical, magical things, or that the algorithm monster, who we're going to talk about tomorrow more, is going to attack you and keep you down, or that because of this or that. It is purely a matter of understanding how the algorithm works and working with it. How can you move up in the rankings? How can you gain real readers, like real people reading your books? How can you create the momentum? What can you do to create? I love how Seth Godin put it. He says, better to have 100 raving fans than 10,000 people who could care less. I want that for you. I want to see you have a group of people, and I'd rather see it really be 10 raving fans, honestly. I'd rather you have 5 people that just can't wait for the next book, the next word, the next thing that you say to come out, than for you to have 5,000 friends on Facebook. And when you go live like this, none of them even know you're there, because you don't have that visibility that goes with it. So today, I don't want to hype you up. I don't want to talk theory. I want to actually literally share my screen with you, like we've done a few other times before, and literally show you a few books and talk through what you're seeing here. Okay, so I am going to hit the share screen button, and you can just go along for the ride with me as we take a look at this, and we look at what's real and what's true, and why it works and why it doesn't. And we're going to talk about both the good and the bad of things. Okay, so let me just share the screen. All right. Now, some of you may be familiar with Never Stop Winning 2.0, Willie J's latest book. It really is a powerful second release, new version, upgrade, next book in the Never Stop Winning series. This book now, as you can see, it says on the cover, it's a number one, because Willie is a 13-time number one international best-selling author. The book has made it to number one twice, and it's also made it in a couple of categories. And I refreshed this just before I came on live. As you can see right now, it's number 63 in one category. Willie absolutely loves this teen and adult values and virtues category. And number 97. So it's bestseller in 2 categories, but it's not number one. So, Steve, what's the secret? It's been to number one. Why didn't it stay there? Well, Amazon, number one, Amazon wants to give you a listing of bestsellers that is the books that are selling the best right now. And they update their list literally every hour. It's technically about 18 to 24 hours behind. So if you were looking at Amazon's best-selling books list right now, you'd actually be seeing a reflection of about this time yesterday. And that's in the US. And if you happen to be in an international country, Canada or the UK, that's about somewhere in the 36 to 48 hour range. And if you're in some of the other countries like India or Australia or others like that, it may be 3 to 4 days actually before the book's ranking shows up. It's just one of those things of how their algorithm works and how it propagates. I don't have control over that, but I know how it works so that I can do it for you. Okay, so what's it going to take? Why is this book, why did it get to number one and then it didn't? Well, the reason why it went to number one the first time is because, and I recommend that you use all 5 of the free days every quarter that Amazon allows to you for your ebook. Make it for free, okay? Your book is the landing page. It's your know, like, and trust. It's how you do it, okay? And then after that, we did this reviews campaign, okay? Willie's now at 11. When Willie and I looked at it, literally, him and I were looking at this book on Monday. It was at 7. So you can see that that's part of it. But also, these are real purchasers. So these are real human beings that went in and bought the book and are now reading it. We have a whole campaign where we're not paying people for reviews. We're being paid to do the work for you. You could do it yourself. Everything that we do are things that you could do, but everything's time versus money. Do you pay us to spend the time and go out and find real readers for you to buy the book, read the book, and leave you a review, and a good review? We don't want people that are leaving you, crummy reviews and saying how horrible the book is. I've worked with other places where it's like, well, you want real legit reviews. It's like, well, yeah, you do, but you'd rather have the people who didn't really like the book to just, not say anything. And we run into that sometimes. And our suggestion to him is, hey, look, let me tell the author, let me give them your feedback directly, but let's not put that on Amazon and have, your initial opinion of this taint the book forever. And I've got a few of my books that have, some low ranking, low reviews on it. Eventually they're going to happen. The more that, the longer your book's out, the more that you are going to get negative reviews. It's just going to happen. But, we want to help you get good reviews. First 10 or 11 of these people bought the book, and they bought it. And we can tell that because we can go down here and we can see where it says verified purchaser. That means that the person purchased the book and then read it and then came back and did a legit review of the book. Okay. And that's what you want. And when the first 10 of those people, or 10 or 11, during the first few days that they bought that book, that shows up and that increases the ranking. And so we're going to do another campaign for Willie. We'd love to have you join with us. Just drop Christmas promotion. If you'd like to be part of our Christmas promotion, we will once again on Christmas Day be offering books. For the most part, I'm suggesting to you keep your book at about 99 cents and make sure you have the reviews. If you don't have the reviews, and I'm talking about current, like over the course of the, that week or this, these next couple of weeks at the latest, then you want to use free. If you've got recent and a minimum of 10 recent reviews, then you want to go more to 99 cents for Christmas. Okay. Either way, we're going to include you. We'll have a page available that'll go from Christmas week all the way through New Year's Day that we'll be promoting and sharing with you every single day. And we'll be showing you, both the good, the bad, and the ugly, what's working and what isn't. Okay. So that's what we're doing. When you come back here to my book, Bestsellers Only the Beginning, where I expose all of these things that we're talking about here and everything that I know about, making your book a bestseller on day one. And then how do you, do you go from there? You can see that it is currently number 5. It's also a bestseller in 2 other places. Why? Because the book has 37 reviews and they're growing. So the last review that came in for this book, it came in on the 4th of December. Well, that may not be true. Yeah, see, so there's one here that is December 11th, which was today. Okay. So we've got a review that came in today on this book, and I've got reviews constantly coming in, and I've got people, and I'm beginning to build the momentum so that I'm paying for advertising. In other words, I'm paying because you can do crapshoot advertising. You could advertise your book on Amazon, on Facebook, and it's literally gambling. It's literally like putting money into a slot machine and pulling the lever, and maybe it'll work and maybe it won't. And there's lots of things you can do, blah, 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 and algorithm and all that kind of stuff. But what we want to bring to you now in your early stages, and until you have organic, where it's showing up and where every time you come to it, you're seeing this kind of a situation, until you have that for your book and you're beginning to see verified purchaser reviews that were not ones. And when you're beginning to see, posts on social media and people in groups and communities that are getting the book that are not ad campaigns you ran, then you move to the place where you don't need us. Okay. But in the meantime, you want to keep doing that, and you want to keep, moving up because you want your book to rank. Okay. I wish, oh man, I so wish that I would, I could have brought it up, but You Are a Dream Come True by Dawn. We've moved to this book in the last, we started on about November the 20th. So what is that? About 20 days. We've moved this book from 9,000 to 3,000. We actually had it at one point down in the thousands. We've got some new reviews that are coming in now, and that book's going to move. Part of the whole thing that we're doing behind this book, because Dawn wants this book to be read to children. She doesn't want it to be in an ebook form. It's part of her whole business model. Okay. And so what we needed to do was place this book. We have the capability to be able to place your book to high schools, in this particular bookcase, things like coffee shops where moms are hanging out, and things like that, so that the book can be seen, be picked up, be read to the children. We've got some that are in a couple of children's hospitals, that kind of a situation. That's what you really, really want. Is that happening for you? Okay, so let's now look at this book by John. I wish I would have taken a screenshot of it yesterday, because John's book yesterday was in the 500s. Okay. Now John's book, you can see. All right. Why? Because we just started a reviews campaign. We just started some processes for some ads that are going to run for people to actually get the book. We just started the process of finding people for him that will legit read his book. Okay, not paying for reviews, but paying to have somebody go and find people who will legitimately read the book. And then if they like it, we'll leave an honest, real review. And we actually take the time to look at the review and make sure that that it's good. Okay. And not just, and yes, you can see that my Facebook messages are popping up right here. All right. We're live, we're real, we're raw here. Okay, but yeah, John's book jumped back up from 300, 500. I think this one was in the 300s and this one was in the 500s, back to being bestseller in 3 top 10 and in 3 categories. Those are the kind of things. And that's the kind of impact that we can make on a book in a day or two. Because like I said, literally, it wasn't yesterday, it was the day before when I looked at this, it was in the hundreds. And now it's in the top 10. Don't you want that? Lataxion, we've talked about his book, and you can see that it is still on the bestseller list in the children and family law category. Okay. Quietly Spectacular, another book that we've looked at a few times. Okay. And Quietly Spectacular is, it is a bestseller in 2 categories. And it's now up to 35 reviews. It's making progress. And it's getting reviews. I mean, it isn't just any old review, right? It is reviews where, the person is saying, and I want to look at a more recent one. The absolutely standout book was recommended to me by my friend. From the beginning to the end, it's fantastic. An original work. It reveals timeless truths about life. This book was so inspirational. I love the stories that were told about success and leadership. I felt very motivated after reading this. Those are the kind of things. No one has to follow in someone else's footsteps. Your success may not be someone else's, but it still is success. Those are the kind of things. And then just to show you one more, Magnetized Media, the book that Willie and I wrote together. This book came out. Let's see if we can see a date on it. This book came out April 18th of 2025. It has consistently been on the bestseller list, partially because of reviews, partially because of ad campaigns that we've done, partially because of SEO. All of those are elements of the things that you can do with your book, because without it, your book is going to make it to number 1, get its seal on it, and then it's going to, languish. And it's going to go back to the place where when you look at a book, and I'm not picking on Robert because he's got some stuff that we'll be starting here in a couple of days. But Robert's book, as you can see, the seal says, it's number 1 international because it was, and it was in multiple different countries. But now, until we do the next process, until you continue marketing it, it shows it's 2,088 in sales and selling. And it really doesn't have a listing. It really has just kind of, gone the way of the dodo bird, if you will. Same thing's true with Linda's book that was, book 3 in the Girl with $1 Million Smile series. The marketing after. Bestseller is day 1. Bestseller is only the beginning. Now what you need is a process, a plan and a program to make your book not just a one-day hit wonder, not a one-hit wonder. I was a child of the 80s, so I'm very familiar with one-hit wonders. But you don't want your book to be a one-hit wonder. You want your book to have staying power, to do the things. You want to be part of all the promotions we're doing during Christmas. Just to drop the word, DM it, comment it, whatever. Drop the word amplify. Let's get you seen. Let the next use case that I do be your case. Let me brag about your book to the whole world. And hopefully you'll even get a few people that will see it, love it, and read it. Because, and the only reason why I show you these people is for this reason. If they can rise, you can too. It's not magic. It's a system. It's understanding marketing and doing it. And I want this to be your story too. And I'd love to see that happen for you today. I'm so grateful to have spent this time with you. I hope that you're happy, safe, warm, and loved. And then until we're together again next time, you have an amazing and great week. Thanks for being here.